to just lose money, which corporations don't usually choose to do, and forfeit and reject any political ads against him. He's canceled interviews here from 60 Minutes to an NRA appearance. He's verged on what Politico calls a media blackout from anything other than just the most supportive cocoon like Fox. And it just clearly contrasts Kamala Harris's media blitz. She's traversing and reaching households that watch Fox or CNN or MSNBC or CBS or any combination thereof, and also reaching people who get more info online, like these audiences for Howard Stern and The Breakfast Club and podcasts. Continuing with more discussions with journalists today, because as I just told you, Harris just spoke with NBC's Peter Alexander. So we're actually going to show a little bit of this at some length, and you can see what she's doing that Trump is not. She's taking journalistic, challenging questions, like pressing her on where she would actually specifically break with Biden's policies, which is a fair, kind of real question for any candidate who's trying to distinguish what has been from what will be. She was asked about whether her campaign's lost any joy or momentum. So here is that exchange.
At the convention, you cast yourself as a joyful warrior, but in recent rallies, you've increasingly attacked former President Trump as an unstable and unhinged. Is that an effective closing? Is that an effective closing argument?
I think that one is not to the exclusion of the other. I have a great deal of optimism, as do the people who are here, about the future of our country. I think that's one of the things that is building the momentum that we have. People really do believe in what is the promise of America and our responsibility to fight for it. That is not in conflict with also being clear-eyed about the danger that Donald Trump poses based on the language that he has used and his admiration for dictators, his inability to really focus on the needs of the American people, in particular working people. These things are not in conflict. They all exist at the same time.
The critics who say the joy is gone, you respond.
Oh, I'm having a great time.
Let me ask you if I can. President Biden said this week that every president has to cut their own path. What is one policy that you would have done differently over these last 3.5 years than President Biden?
I mean, to be very candid with you, even including Mike Pence, Vice President, are not critical of their presidents.
He's now given you that green light with his comments that you can carve your own path. So now that you have this ability to say that to be on your own?
Well, no, going forward, there is no question that I bring my own experiences and my own life experiences.
Is there a policy that stands out to you in particular, either?
Sure. I mean, my approach to what we need to do around Medicare covering home health care, born out of my experience of taking care of my mother. My priority on housing, one, because I know what it means, affordable housing and the ability to buy a home.
Harris ticking off there some of the policies which she says go beyond what Biden has been doing. And that builds on the rebuttals she also presented on Fox for an audience that might hear them less, and certainly hear them at length and in context less often. She also accurately fact-checked Baer, the interviewer, on the misleading way that they teed up a clip of Trump during that interview. And we have an update on this story today, and if you weren't watching Fox last night, you may not have seen it yet. What she did during the interview, along with sort of the fact-checking rebuttal around it and the public response, has drawn Fox's Baer to now acknowledge he says he made a, quote, mistake in how that Trump footage was presented. Here's the original moment and his new remarks.
Brett, I'm sorry, and with all due respect, that clip was not what he has been saying about the enemy within that he has repeated when he's speaking about the American people. That's not what you just showed.
I did make a mistake, and I want to say that I did make a mistake. When I called for a soundbite, I was expecting a piece of the enemy from within from Maria Bartiromo's interview.
That is Baer addressing the point. He's saying that she was basically right to correct what the Trump quote was, but that he was expecting something different to play. So I have now broadcast that for you tonight for context, so you can hear his side of the story, his rendition. Others remain skeptical. A Fox alum, Gretchen Carlson, posting online that the wrong clip can certainly run, but when that happens, hosts easily say, sorry, that was the wrong clip. She writes he or his producers would have known it was the wrong one right then. Then there are many reports that are saying overall in this campaign homestretch, this was a net positive for Harris. She stood in the setting while Trump ducks journalistic interviews. And with so many eyes on what was a rare clash, her first Fox interview ever, we have more evidence pouring in. People have crunched numbers to show that Baer interrupted Harris twice as much as he interrupted Trump in that interview. That would not be literally balanced. It would be imbalanced if we're doing slogans. Now, this isn't the most important thing in the world, but it is a topic because then we can show you ratings. Harris campaign posting online her Fox interview more than doubled Trump in those ratings. So when it comes down to Trump and what he sells and his numbers and the ratings and how she's beating him, quote, even on Fox News, well, we have a great guest to get into it. Tony Schwartz, co-author of The Art of the Deal, depicted in this new Apprentice film. We're going to get into all of that.
Precise designs, subtle curves, curated upgrades, elevated design for thoughtful living. Thuma.
No tracking needed for 200 plus certifiably nutritious 0-point foods. Join Weight Watchers today.
Introducing Allison's Black Psoriasis. She thinks her flaky gray patches are all people see.
Otezla is the #1 prescribed pill to treat plaque psoriasis. Otezla can help you get clearer skin and reduce itching and flaking with no routine blood tests required. Doctors have been prescribing Otezla for over a decade. Otezla is also approved to treat psoriatic arthritis. Don't use Otezla if you're allergic to it. Serious allergic reactions can happen. Otezla may cause severe diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting. Some people taking Otezla had depression, suicidal thoughts, or weight loss. Upper respiratory tract infection and headache may occur.
With clear skin, Girls' Day Out is a good day out. Live in the moment. Ask your doctor about Otezla.
Join us at your local More Furniture as we celebrate the biggest sale of the year with unbelievable discounts on fall arrivals for every room in your home. Right now, you're getting our very best offer when you pay no money down, subtract the tax, and pay absolutely no interest until January 2026. You'll also get free white glove delivery, and we'll remove and donate your gently used pieces locally. With prices this low, the best selection won't last long. Visit your local showroom today.
When we started Warby Parker, we just sold glasses, and only online. But people liked them a lot. So we offered more things, like sunglasses and contacts. And then we thought, what if we sold eyewear online and in stores? So we did that. And now we have stores in neighborhoods all over. There you can chat with friendly opticians and get eye exams from top-notch doctors. Now, no matter where you go, we've got your eyes covered.
The Mary Tyler Moore Vision Initiative is dedicated to advancing medical research to preserve and restore the vision of people living with diabetes. To learn more, please go to marytylermore.org, because the sight you save may be that of someone you love.
It is amazing to have a collagen. I used to have a probiotic, a green juice. I replaced it all with this Arma colostrum. And if you don't know what colostrum is, it is amazing. It is a bioactive whole food. It has all the essential nutrients you need for your skin, your gut, energy, focus, mood, performance, your hair, like immune system. It strengthens, supports all of that. The first thing I noticed was the energy and recovery that it had after workout. If you want to try it, try arma.com.
The Cuisinart Air Fryer Toaster Oven can air fry, toast, bake, grill, and broil. So you can break up with your oven. It's a work of Cuisinart.
Subscribe to MSNBC Premium on Apple Podcasts. Get early access and ad-free listening to Rachel Maddow's chart-topping series, bonus content, and new episodes of Morning Joe and MSNBC original podcasts ad-free. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts.
So I think this really is a moment, like we saw with the Republicans who are supporting me most publicly recently, that it's a time to put country before party and really, again, with a sense of optimism, fight for what we care about.
New remarks from Kamala Harris there with NBC's Peter Alexander, building on her points about exhausted Trump and him running and ducking. I'm joined now by the co-author of The Art of the Deal and a noted Trump critic, Tony Schwartz. He is in a very controversial new film, The Apprentice. That's him in that scene, and we're going to get to that. But I want to start with something you know all about. You've been, I think, clear and eloquent from before Donald Trump's first campaign in 2016 about the danger he poses, but also how he thinks and his tics. Does it matter to him that she doubled the Fox ratings? And what do you see in her piercing those bubbles, communicating something you know a lot about?
Well, he measures himself, he measures his own worth numerically and quantitatively. That's why he for 20 years has sold his net worth, or sold him what he claims is his self-worth to Forbes, or why he's so obsessed with the size of his crowds. All of that is a kind of hopeless attempt on his part to feel worthy in a way that internally he does not. So, yeah, anytime somehow it appears that he is lesser in a situation, he is going to be triggered.
Yeah, and we've seen opponents who might have had evidence or facts on their side get outmaneuvered by Donald Trump. We've spent years at this table looking at investigations, the House subpoena process, and at times it yielded good information, and other times he seemed to outmaneuver it. Harris is closing right now. I mean, we're in 20 days, and she's basically saying he's low energy, exhausted, a coward, can't face her, can't face journalists. It strikes me as clearer messaging than sometimes the deal around other more nuanced, important but nuanced concerns. I want to play him saying, if you duck a debate, you're a coward, and then get your view of what she's doing to him right now. Let's take a look.
And, you know, some of them don't have the courage to do it. I don't want to say who, but there are a couple
we know who they are.
I mean, there are a couple of them that called me and told me, Donald, I'm just too nervous to do it. And I'm saying to myself, here's a guy that's supposed to negotiate, or a person that's supposed to negotiate against China. These guys come out of the womb, they never cry. You know, they're not even crying, and we have guys that are afraid to go into a debate.
What do you think about her saying, not only to him and baiting him, that's one level, but saying to voters, whatever you've heard about Donald Trump in the last many years, we're in the home stretch, and this exhausted guy can't show up to do the job of campaigning?
Well, I think there are very few ways to siphon off votes from either side right now, and I think one of them is he's exhausted. I mean, remember during the Hillary campaign where she, with the World Trade Center, where she kind of collapsed, and he used that. And I think
animal instinct.
Yeah, I mean, he's a feral guy. Like, he's a very animalistic human being. And so I think that I think she is going after the very few things that I think can affect this. So what are they? So number one, there's that he is clearly moving toward dementia. I mean, forget...
You're not a doctor, but that's...
Exactly.
But you know
forget the diagnosis. What are the symptoms? He can't put sentences together. He loses track of what he's saying. He contradicts himself. And that is combined with the second thing that I think is powerful, which is we've always known that